thing. So look, with this here, where you had like this, and then sort of getting everything ahead, always adding loft to it. So you're still hitting down, but adding loft, and that's why it's not going too far. Now we're trying to get a bit more chest behind the pelvis. You're still going to drive full, but more with the chest. You might still have this going on as like a hangover from your old swing, only because you're used to doing that. But now with that T-peg there and us getting full, we can try and hit some lower ones. So rather than like in this way, it's going to be stay back, and can you hit it lower? So that T-peg should go.
Okay, that's helpful.
That's spin loft. That's what that means. So you've got angle of attack and dynamic loft. We're trying to get that a bit lower. So I've briefly mentioned spin loft there, and for those who don't know, spin loft is just the angle of attack. So with an iron, you're probably, hopefully, hitting down, and then the loft at impact, so dynamic loft. This angle is called spin loft. So irons, let's say a wedge, you're hitting down, lots of loft on a wedge, more spin. Okay, driver, you're hitting up, usually, ideally, and there's less loft on a driver, less spin loft, smaller spin loft, less spin, then more distance. The reason that's relevant, this number, is if you think you're striking it all right and you're hitting down on the golf ball, but it's maybe going a bit high or not as far as you think it should, there's a good chance you're just not very efficient at impact. In this video here, this lesson here, we've got a good player, getting ahead of the ball, trying to go this way and looking a bit like this at impact. So hitting down, but adding loft. So if I do that, for example, I've got a 7-iron here, and I have a similar sort of move. Okay, so I've hit it, that's middled. The ball flight's all right, let's have a look. So I'll try and keep the speed consistent for the next one. Speed about 70, hitting down. That's a lot of spin for a 7-iron with a slow swing. And it's carried 120 with a really good strike. The spin loft, 30 degrees. So hitting down 3, loft at impact, 27 and a bit. Spin loft is basically the difference between those two. And it's launched, okay, but it's not a very big shot. So it's a bit spinny, it's gone a bit high, it's only gone 120 yards, lots of spin loft. So in this lesson, we've got the player still getting the pelvis forward, but head of the chest, and then creating a descending strike with a bit more shaft lean, de-lofting the club, more distance, better ball flight. So if I try and go at a similar speed to that one, it was at 70 miles an hour. Might be a bit too quick, that one, let's have a look. All right, 3 miles an hour too quick. For the sake of this video, we'll leave that alone for now because the rest is okay. All right, so I've cheated a little bit. I've gone 3 miles an hour too quick, but this will do. Even though it's a quicker swing, because the spin loft is down, so I'm hitting down 4 or 5 degrees, the dynamic loft's come down a little bit too. The spin rate's gone down like 2,000, even though it's a quicker swing, just because I've brought the spin loft down. And the carry, obviously, even though it's a bit quicker, that's gone a lot further. So very different ball flight, lower launch angle, and that is how you can increase your distance without increasing your club head speed.
Hands forward, really.
Yeah, well, you've got to get something forward because we're not doing your head forward now.
Yeah, whereas I'm doing club forward.
But only because you had to do that when your head went this far ahead of the ball. You wouldn't bury the club into the ground. It's like, can you hit a low one without your head? Well, you can't because the stick's there, but can you hit a low one in that setup? Really good try.